We are back for week 1 of the UNPL Academy League. This week we were up against Ace. I brought the Iron Valiant, Lando I, Porygon 2, Ogre Pond Wellspring, Fortress, and Scarf Cleavor versus his Greninja, Terra Diplin, Gouging Fire, Ting Lu, Tinkaton, and Terrapagos. I do lead Fortress expecting the Tinkaton lead. I have a feeling he's just going to want to try and get up rocks first. And with my Fortress being max HP, max attack, and Earthquake does do about like 60% to him. So I just thought Fortress was just all around my better lead here. And let's get into the battle, guys. If you guys are excited for the UNPL and you guys want to see more Wi-Fi battle content in general, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Who do you think the MVP of this battle was? So we do go into Hiroshima, the Fortress. I was out of pocket for this nickname. So I do go ahead and just click the Earthquake because the only thing that really wants to take it is the Ting Lu. But I think he's just going to try and get up rocks as he does. So we are in actually a very, very good position as Earthquake does about 60, like 60-ish% here. With the leftovers, it does get about 5 to 10% HP back. Still Earthquake 2 shots. I do just click Earthquake again because if so, I'm just gonna get a little bit of chip off the Ting Lu, which is gonna be really, really nice here. As we do see him withdraw Navi, and he does go into, I think it's Ganon. Yeah, Ganon the Ting Lu. So I'm not gonna do shit to this. As we do see the Earthquake go ahead and pop out, does minimal. This does kind of show me he is running a physically defensive build because that should have done more. So I'm just actually going to go ahead and click the Rapid Spin here, get rid of the rocks. The worst case scenario he goes for Ruination, which is kind of annoying as I am running that Custap Berry on it. So that makes it more annoying for me to deal with the fire. So game plan at the end of the day is to try and get Landorus in safely to kind of late game sweep his team. That and Valiant, both of them seem like super, super great options in this battle. So as we do see the Rapid Spin pop off, I do actually go into Ogre Pond here because worst case scenario, he goes Ogre Pond, I click Ruination. And then either way, I'm clicking Trailblaze. To try and catch their Greninja swap in for like the gunk shot. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and just go into Crying Emoji or Ogre Pond Wellspring. Worst case scenario, not even worst case. He's most likely going to go ahead and click the Ruination here. So Hiroshima does come back. And in does come Crying Emoji or Ogre Pond. And he does end up landing the Ruination, taking me down to that right about half range at 151. Does get some recovery here. I genuinely clicked Trailblaze here. I was expecting there was two things I was expecting to come in here. I was expecting either the Diplin or the Greninja. I was praying for the Greninja. And we do see Sheik here. So he does go ahead and go for, and we do hit the Trailblaze. Does it one shot? That is actually, if we get the first KO, Ogre Pond Wellspring gets the first KO. That's massive due to the fact that now Enamorus has no swap-ins. Besides Diplin, which is Terra Poison, Terra Steel, and Terra Fairy, I think. Either way, any of its Terra types are not going to appreciate Earth Power. I think that was a misplay on my opponent's part, though, seeing as I would have just gone Diplin, but I guess he was scared of the play rough, which, as you guys can see on my end, I am actually not carrying. He does go into the Diplin now, and I know I need to get my Ogre Pond the hell out. So I'm I just know I need to get Ogre Pond really out here, because Ogre Pond could be useful late game if Lando does go down, which is terrifying. Whoo! So we are actually in a really, really great position here. We are in a fantastic position, and we do actually just go ahead and swap out Ogre Pond and going back into the Fortress. Because I know that I can resist almost everything that he goes for, which is super, super huge. As we do see him Terra, I thought it was Terra Poison. I was almost betting on it being Terra Poison here. And you know, we called it right. Let's go, baby. So that's the main reason I went in the Fortress. Also, for any of its Terra types I resist. And he does go for the Terra Blast, as actually I'm completely immune to it. Completely immune. So I just go ahead and click Earthquake. I have a feeling that Ganon is just gonna come right back out the Ting Lu. As we do see Ganon actually do come right back out. Yeah, so I'm gonna do about another 15%, but any chip on this thing is good chip. Any chip on this thing is good chip. That is one thing I will always say. Any chip on this thing is a great chip, baby. Let us see. So I'm pretty sure at this point I'm gonna go into my Porygon 2 or the Cleavor here. I was kind of deciding between the two because both looked actually pretty decent, but I was kind of remembering how he does have some physical bulk on him, based on how much my Earthquakes are doing from a max attack Fortress. I think it was Adamant Fortress as well. But I do end up just deciding to go into the Cleavor, because Cleavor was there specifically for Scarf Greninja to speed creep Scarf Greninja. So Cleavor really doesn't serve much of a purpose anymore, as we do see the Throat Chop brings me down to 169, does about 40%. Actually really good damage, so he must have some attack investment in there as well, but also Cleavor in general is just super frail. I do decide just to go click U-turn here in case he decides to swap. I can get Great Pivot onto whatever decides to come in, get in Lando for free if that's the route I do end up deciding to go, as he does go ahead and swap out the Ting Lu, which is exciting. He does actually go into the Tinkaton here, so I just go ahead, click that U-turn. You know, great chip, and I know he's not Rocky Helmet, so I don't have to worry about taking any damage. It doesn't do a lot, but I do get that switch initiative, which is super helpful. You know, Lando's also looking just so good. Lando is just looking so good here, you guys. So I do just go into Lando here, and I know I can just kind of keep clicking Earth Powers here and kind of get away with it, because nothing really can touch me. One of the main concerns I do still have is Terrapagos, because I know that thing can be super tanky depending on build, as he does go ahead and swap out the Tinkaton. He does go ahead and swap into the Ting Lu here. So Earth Power, he does weaken my special attack, so Earth Powers aren't going to be doing as much as they need to. I am running that Grass Knot tech because Ting Lu actually does hit the max weight cap, so Grass Knot's actually at its full power. It did okay damage. I think I clicked Grass Knot here to try and just see how much Grass Knot's doing, because it's free at this point. As I am expecting him to just go for another Ruination here to try and chip down my Landorus for late game. As you can see, it actually does a lot with the Life Orb, as he actually does go for that Ruination, bringing my Landorus down to right about half. So that's something that we got to keep in mind here. But I'm looking in such a great spot with Landorus now. Landorus is... nothing wants to swap into this thing. Nothing wants to swap in here. Nothing. So I do just go ahead and click that Earth Power, because I'm pretty sure Ting Lu was in range for Earth Power to kill. Hyla, I'm pretty sure this is the Terrapagos. It is. So I was going to base it off this damage, because based on Terrapagos' ability, the first hit when it's at full turns it into resisted. So I see the damage here. It does right about that 30% mark. So I was thinking, you know, I can get a roll here. So I decided to play it risky, go for another Earth Power. It does actually take out the Terrapagos. This puts us in such a great spot. In comes the Gouging Fire. This is like Entei on crack. But as you see, we just keep clicking Earth Power. We one-shot the Gouging Fire. That's another KO for Landorus. Another one. Another one. And Dipling comes out. I'm just going to keep clicking Earth Powers here. I'm legitimately just going to keep clicking Earth Powers. That's all I got to do is just keep clicking Earth Powers. Oh my god. I have no reason not to. None. Zip. Nada. Zilch. Oh, Landorus. And people say this mon's a fraud. And people have the audacity to say this mon's a fraud. I am a Lando believer, as we do just go for the Earth Power. Again, another one. That's 3 kills so far for Landorus. 1 kill for Ogerpon, 3 for Landorus, We are in a great spot here. Here comes the Tinkaton. Another one. Another one. Our game plan worked. We were able to pivot out into Landorus, who was just able to absolutely demolish this team. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Oh my god, that's massive. That is massive. And then in comes the Ting Lu here. I just clicked Grass Knot because I wasn't risking for some reason. Maybe an Earth Power not killing. So we just clicked the Grass Knot. It's his last mon left. We still have all 6. Does Grass Knot pick up the KO? It does. And we end week 1 off with a 6-0 victory. That's a great way to start the league. As always, GG's to my opponent, Ace. I will leave his YouTube link down in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the